Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Create Marketing Campaign with Adobe Express. My name is Hannah Messer. I'm teaching here the Adobe certification classes, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, and few selected seminars. So kind of wanted to ask you first, did you use Adobe Express before? How many people used the Adobe Express? Okay, what did you use it for?
Just like passion projects, I feel like typically.
Just
That's sort of fun.
like flyers and
Posters and flyers, yeah.
postal across social media. Anybody else? Anybody used Canva before? Yay. Okay, I know. So everybody's using Canva, and basically, Adobe Express is another answer to the Canva users, but with using Adobe applications. So we're going to start talking about why we would use Adobe Express. I'm not going to start saying why we would use Adobe Express as opposed to using Canva, but why we would use Adobe Express. So first of all, it is a web application. So you have it right now on a device, on the phone. Soon, very soon, it's going to come back to your iPad. It was on the iPad before. So they used to call it Adobe Spark. And going back to the history, even they called it Adobe Voice in the beginning, and then Adobe Spark, and then Adobe Creative Cloud Express, and now it is Adobe Express. So it's kind of went through some branding issues with it, and now it's Adobe Express, mainly on the web, and now on your phone, so you can download it on the phone. So now let's look at it a little bit. So it's a web mobile that allows you to create content such as social posts, ads, banners, logos, and flyer quickly and easily, brings together. And why do we use that here, which is a lot better? Because we can use Adobe fonts, we can use Adobe Stock, we can use Adobe Illustrator, and we can use Adobe Photoshop. And guess what? Now you can also use Adobe InDesign, Acrobat, and even Premiere, and bring stuff from this together into Adobe Express. So the way it kind of like compasses together with one hub that we can do other stuff. Another thing I like to explain it, that we don't create a lot of new stuff in Adobe Express, but we're bringing stuff to Adobe Express and then create the stuff with it. And this is why I called this stuff, this class, I wanted to take a different look at it, and I called it like creating a marketing campaign with Adobe Express. So how many of you are marketing students here? Or communication students? That, what else? What are you studying here?
Digital social media.
These are social media. So it's kind of like journalism, digital social media. So you need to do some kind of maybe a report, maybe you can do a campaign about something that you're doing. Maybe you want to develop even a presentation about something that you're going to work. And maybe you don't want to go to InDesign because you're not a graphic designer and you don't know how to use Adobe InDesign, or it's too much for you. Or maybe you don't feel like using Adobe Illustrator, that you can do the presentation there. But you know a little bit of everything, that you can do it directly in Adobe Express. So purposely, I didn't send you today any files. So kind of wanted you to look for the files yourself. I'm going to go through some kind of a demo how to use it, and then maybe we'll create something and I'll show you what I created already. But if you want to follow me and create something, you're going to look for the images yourself, and we're going to do a pretend project, right? So each one of you can do a pretend project or just a general information, or look even a template and see what you can do for me to a marketing campaign or any other campaign that you are going to do. So as usual, I'm not crazy about like slides and things like this, but I prepared something very small over here. So if you're looking over here, I was just thinking about maybe a general campaign that I might show you. And the campaign was kind of a collaboration, and it's a pretend campaign, right? It's a collaboration between Skechers, and then about the new shoes that they have that they call it Just Slip In, collaboration with Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge. So what does it mean? Every year there is a disability film challenge in this country, open for all the people with disabilities, and they create kind of films about that, and it's a competition. So for the I thought, what if you as a marketer or communication person needed to create some kind of a campaign with two companies and how they work together? You have to think about a hook, how to do it together. And I was thinking, disability and slip in sneakers, that could be actually something working together. Why? Because maybe people with disabilities, it's hard for them to tie the shoes, it's hard for them to bend, so they have to go somewhere, and then they go into the sneakers and they do that. And how are they going to do the campaign kind of like together? Just a thought about that. And then I wrote some stuff. And how did I get the information? I went online. It's not like I knew what I'm doing right away. So I wrote Skechers, Just Slip In, sneakers brand collaboration with Seals Disability Film. The challenge is a great sample how brand can be supported both trends, fashion and accessibility. Skechers will support the challenge and act as one of the sponsors. So I just put to myself right now learning goals, just in general. And the campaign will highlight the convenience of Skechers slip-on sneakers, which are designed to provide ease of use, and then particular individuals that cannot move and do things like this. And then the disability will feature, the people in the film will feature these sneakers, and together they can have some kind of collaboration. And the partnership will emphasize both accessibility in fashion and empowerment of the people with disabilities, promoting independence and kind of like representation. So what am I talking about before you start doing something like that? Before even we jump into Adobe Express, you need to think about creating a brand, right? And why is it so important to create a brand? And this is something probably you study in some of your other classes, because if you do communication and branding and social media, it's already probably you have classes like this. But I just decided to just gonna go in and go over it a little bit. So brand identity is what makes the brand recognizable, right? So why is it so important? Because if they see the colors, the typeface, it's consistent, you create a logo for a project or anything else, everybody is going to go in and understand who you are and what are you representing over here. And I gave an example here in this slide, and actually I think they sent you a link to this slide presentation, so you have it with you already. Like, let's say the development of the Nike logo went from like the road, they call it Blue Ribbon Sports, and then went to Nike, and then the swoosh. So nowadays, I don't even need to write the word Nike, right? You see the swoosh on the sneakers, on a t-shirt, on a hat, you know what it is. And that's kind of like a good brand that we have over here. So here I have some kind of an example, and then you create something like this in Adobe Express. You have a logo that should be clear and memorable. You have the color palette with specific colors that the client or you deciding on. You have the typeface or the font that you choose, and the design style and the visual element. So you kind of want to stick to the visual element through the entire presentation that you have. So another brand identity that I have here is Coca-Cola. Who doesn't recognize Coca-Cola when they see it? Even in different languages, it looks the same, right? Because also they have the typeface. I didn't even write it here, but like Disney, they have their own typeface for the word Disney, and nobody owns it. They own the typeface, and they're going to give you permission if you can use it or not. So that's another way of a brand. So another thing is, before starting something, thinking about creating a design brief, a brief description of the project that you're about to do, the concept and an idea. Thinking about that when you do a design brief, it's like a map that you're going to have in front of you. And that's when you're going to go in and explain that. So what do you have to explain? First of all, the target audience that you're going to have. You're creating a marketing campaign for the one I suggested over here. So who are the target audience that we have here? People that do sports, people that use sneakers, but then people with disabilities. In this case, can be all ages. It's not confined to a certain age. If I did something with high schoolers, it confines to a certain age. So the audience is super important for you before you do anything. Doesn't matter if you use Express or not Express. If you don't understand ahead of time what you're going to use, I think anything that you're going to do, it's not going to be clear when you have that. And then also how you're going to do the project. It's kind of like called project management. And when I do my certification class, we talk about it a little bit because that's part of your certification. It's actually knowing your audience, knowing your project management, and of course, the big one. What do you think is the big one? Copyright, right? What are we going to use for our presentation? And that will bring me in a minute to using Adobe Express and also using AI in Adobe Express. Do we have a copyright for it? Can we do a presentation for it? And where is it going? And of course, I have here the typeface, talking a little bit about color theory and just giving you an example about choosing colors, creating some kind of a logo, another kind of a logo, and I added some kind of links for all of you to learn more about branding and then creating brand identity and in Adobe Express or any other application. So this is what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to look at, we're going to open together Express. And how do you open Express? You go to express.adobe.com. So in classes like Express, I usually kind of like not to give a lot of assets ahead of time. Because when I do a class or seminar on Photoshop or Illustrator, I send ahead of time images, and then you're using the same images. So I'm going to tell you, bring your own images. But here, I want you to see that we start from nothing, and let's take the elements and see how it works. And then in the end, I'm going to open like the presentation that I made just to show you what I did with it, and then if we can go in and add stuff on it. Some limitation with Adobe Express I'll mention, and some things we might see it after October 14th, because they are going to announce a lot of new changes October 14th for Adobe Express. Maybe we'll have some better stuff with certain things. One of the things that bothers me with Adobe Express that I cannot place text files. So I cannot, like, let's say, type in Word and have a whole thing that somebody else will do and then go in and file and place it. I have to copy and paste it, which is a big hassle, because copy and paste that you see now, even if I wanted to create something that I prepared, I have to open something else and copy it and then open Express and paste it and go back and forth. I would love it if we could place it like we do it in Illustrator or InDesign, but it doesn't really work like that. So what I'm going to do is with you guys, and stop me if you have any questions, and stop me if you feel like doing something else with it. And then when I'm going here, this is my Adobe Express. So, and everybody opened Adobe Express already. Okay, so you see express.adobe.com. This is my Express. So if you see over here, I'm going to go in and expand it a little bit. And if I go all the way down, you can see that I have projects that I already did. And then if I see do view all, I can see do other projects that I have. So we are talking about a marketing campaign, right? So when we're talking about marketing campaign, what comes to your mind? What do you think you're going to need to do? Anybody has an idea? Yes. I can hear you. Presentation, exactly. You probably thought the same, right? Presentation, on maybe start with bringing a logo, but you can bring a logo from somewhere else if you have it, or maybe do something else called web page in Express. And the web page in Express, it's not what you're thinking all the way a web page, it's another way of a presentation. But I think your answer for presentation, that was perfect. We have to look for a presentation. and going in and to do something. So if you never opened Adobe Express before, and some of you never opened it, let's just do like a little tour of the UI. So they're asking me, welcome here, and what do you want to make? And then on the left side, you have some kind of a panel over here. This is my home, my stuff. And in my stuff, I access my file, the project, libraries, and favorites. So what does it mean, libraries? If I'm a Creative Cloud user, maybe I made libraries already in Illustrator or in Photoshop or in InDesign. I have Creative Cloud libraries. I can retrieve it over here and take some file directly from there. Then I have some other file and other project. Then maybe I created a brand within Adobe Express. Then I have some templates, and this is the stuff that we're going to start in the beginning and look at some template to get inspired. Then you can, of course, later on schedule your presentation. And of course, you have a learn area over here with videos if you want to learn a little bit more. All the way in the end, you have add-on. So what does it mean? There's certain thing you cannot do in Express nowadays. So there's other people created add-on. Some of them are free that I use all the time. Some of them are not free, and you can decide if you want to pay for it, if this is something that will belong to your workflow. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. I have 2 add-on that are free, and the rest I said, maybe later. I'm trying to do as much as I can in Express. Can I draw in Express? Not really all the way, a little bit. You can see, you could do some drawings, but not kind of like extensive drawings. And I'm going to show you also how to do it. So really, I don't create anything over here per se. I retrieve stuff from somewhere else, and then I do the presentation. So all the way over here, it says something for you. So it means that after you use it for a very long time, Express the thinking, this person is doing posters the whole time, so I'm going to show more of this stuff. This person does some presentation. Social media, video, photos, document, print. What does it mean, print? It's not printing it right now here. It's connected to another printing house, and you can print a t-shirt and something directly to them. So that's kind of something that Adobe had like a contract with somebody else. And then you have something that says generative AI. So Adobe Firefly, which is the generative AI engine, comes inside Adobe Express right now. So now I'm going to look at that and I say, what do I want to go and work with? And then I'm going to look at stuff over here and let's see what I want to start working with. So the first thing I can go into a presentation, or I can go into a web page. But I decided first we'll go to a presentation. And you see next to the word presentation, they said the word new. It's something new that they brought in. I'm going to click over here to the presentation. And over here, I have already the first page that I have. And then they're looking for me, what do I want to go and do? What kind of presentation I want to do right now? And I have different kind of, look at this. This is the amount of the templates that I have. So in another word, I call Express a template-based application. There's a lot of templates, but thinking about templates, what do you think? What do you do when you have a template? Exactly. You can customize it. Another thing you can do with a presentation is you can let other people to go in and kind of do the stuff with you. Yes.
You cannot really like go out with the, you have to work with what they give you, right?
They have to work what you give you, but you can change that. That's a lot better. So look at this. Let's just go back here. Let's search a presentation. So previous, look at this. I have the previous because remember I told you I did something with the sneakers. So I didn't know how to start, right? So I search with sneakers, orange sneakers, sneaker sketchers, sketch, marketing and design brief, design brief. This is something that I looked for help when I created the presentation because I did create some kind of a presentation already. I'll show you in a minute. And you can see I have something here. Before that, I wanted to do in September 11, I kind of wanted to do something on September 11, and you can see I have here September 11. Remember September 11? I just start putting some stuff. So let's say I'm going to go and do design brief. I'm just putting it over here. And then for design brief, look what I'm getting. And I'm going to open something. And by the way, everywhere that you see the crown, that means that you have the full-blown Creative Cloud application, and you can use everything. People can use Express for free. They're not going to have this little crown there, so they don't have a lot of assets. But once you have everything, you can use the crown stuff. Okay, so we are the kings over here, right? We're using the crown over here with it. So look what I have over here. I'm going to go and look at the stuff. So I have the first page, social media branding. And by the way, sometimes you're not going to like anything that you see. Don't worry about it. They're giving you something. You can go in and change the stuff. So I have something over here, who we are. And then you can see over here, they're not even writing who they are. It is kind of a blah, blah, blah for position only. That's another thing that I would like Adobe Express to have. I would like Adobe Express to give us the ability to have a text frame and fill it for position only, like we have in Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. And by the way, if you really, after a class like this, if you feel like seeing some stuff that you want to change, you can sign in. I'll give you a link to a place called User's Voice, the user voice of Express, and then you can write something and people vote for your suggestion. And then sometime you'll see them in the application. So who we are, and then strategy and media, and you see over here, content creation, social media strategy, and what we do, and look at that over here. And then I have another one over here, our impact, and another one over here, what our clients say, and what is that over here. So what do we have in each area over here? Let's say we do not like the stuff that we have over here, and we want to take it as a beginning and go from there. And I can go into something else. Let's say I'm just going to go creative portfolio. And in creative portfolio, you can see the name of the person, the content, the work, get in touch, about me. And then she has project 1, project 2, and project 3. The truth is, for portfolio, I kind of like to use the web page more than the presentation. And I'll tell you later why, and I'll show you some samples in a minute. So I kind of like, oh, let's say I'm not going to do creative portfolio, but then let's just go into my social media, because we said we're going to do something for a campaign. So do we like it? What do you like here, or what do you don't like? Let's say you're starting to work with it. So let's check it out. So I'm going to go in and just click. I just went in here, and that's where I want to start showing you the UI while we're working. What did I click on? I clicked on, if I move it around, this is actually kind of like a frame that I have over here. And then they're telling me here the fill is green and the border is none. What is the border? The border is your stroke over here. I can go back here and create a round corner to whatever I have. And look what I'm doing already. I'm changing the stuff already to the first page. Or maybe the first page, I kind of don't want it to be this color. I can go back here to the fill, and what you see here, there's different kind of colors. Why do you see these colors on mine and yours maybe looks a little bit different? Because I made some colors already before in Express, and I have different capture color theme. I made some colors before, and if you see more options, look what you have over here. You have a lot of options here to create some colors. So let's say I'm going to do this color over here, and this is the color that I have here, but I can go to a custom color. And look what I can do over here. So you don't need to go back here and then just use the color that they give you. You can go back here and create your custom color and you can have the number of the color. So I can even copy it, and then I can go back here and copy it to the clipboard, and I have the custom color that I made. Another thing that I can do, I want to check out what's going on over here. So I have the branding, I have the social media, and the way they typed here, they did one kind of type in each one. Type social media branding over here. And on the right side, I'm going to bring the layers panel. It was turned off. These are the layers that we have. Good news and bad news. What are the bad news? I can drag the layers panel out like you used to in Adobe application. So that's another thing. You cannot customize your workspace over here. You can't do it yet. Maybe one day, maybe not, because it's a web application. I cannot name my layers, which doesn't bother me. Guess what bothers me the most? Whoever kind of like going in and guessing the right thing, maybe will get an Adobe Creative Cloud 10 for me today. It's a swag. What bothers me, and if you are pro users, how many of you use Photoshop? How many of you using Illustrator? InDesign? Okay, so that's not fair. That's not a fair question because you don't use this application yet. But with layers, the one that I'm looking for is the ability to turn off a layer. Not to see it, and it's still there. It's not happening yet over here, maybe in the future. So what do I have over here? If I don't like stuff here, what can I do? I have to either turn it off or delete it or take it out somewhere else, but I cannot go into my layers and then, but I can click on the layer. So you see this is a layer here. Maybe I don't want that. I'm gonna turn it off, and then that's kind of like my typeface, and this is the company. So I can start doing some stuff over here, and while I'm doing it, it's on my layer. So that's why I'm looking at my layer over here. But you saw before, look what I have in this layer. People just did stuff with little circles, but I couldn't see them because I cannot turn on and off the layers. But if I go back here now and kind of move it, this is the circle that's moving. Does that make sense? So that's how it works over here. And basically somebody went to these circles over here and kind of grouped them. And then I can go again to my opacity and turn off the opacity over here. I can even animate it if I want. But if I want to ungroup it, I can go in and create something else with it. I'm just going to go back here, and then I can do a blending mode to it. Maybe if I do a screen mode, it can look a little bit different. If I'm going to go into multiply mode, you'll see it will be there. And then all the way down, I want to go in and I have a red background. The background is given for you while you do file new, you decide on a background. Does that make sense? So now what if I don't like this red background? I'm going to go in and create another background. Ugly, ugly. I'm going to go into my swatch and I'm going to do a different kind of background. So look what happened right now. If I change the background right now, all of a sudden, the red circles look a little bit different, right? Maybe good, maybe not so good. If I'm going to go in and click on the red circles, I can go in and just make that into a screen mode. And maybe I'm going to start liking it a little bit more now. Maybe it's kind of quieter, not so red looking. Red is a dangerous actually color, right? Sometimes it has a weird connotation. Maybe you want to emphasize something, maybe it's dangerous. I use the reds in a presentation to emphasize something, but maybe I don't like it. So now that's what I have. So you're going to tell me, okay, and this is, I'm going to leave the stuff, this information, I'm going to move it over here. What if I don't like the way it is over here? So I'm going to select it, select all, Command A or Control A, and they're giving me here recommendation. So it's all based on recommendation. In general, the truth is I don't look at the recommendation. I start everything from scratch. I think InDesign and I use Express in my head. but you can use some recommendation over here. If you don't like it, I can go in and do Command or Control Z, and I'm back to what I have. And then which typeface they use a typeface named Anton over here. So I might go back here and choose another typeface. This typeface that you have here, it's from Adobe Creative Cloud. So you can use anything that you have over here. And I changed it a little bit and just did that. So let's say I want to do social media branding, and then they did it one by one, and each one was Anton regular 283, 283, and then 289 over here, crafting your digital identity, and then storytelling or whatever you have here. So I changed the first thing. Do I want to do something else with it? But look what's going to happen now. Now I'm going to go back here. And basically what happens over here, I didn't create a certain brand. Everything goes here and goes back to the real color that we have. So I can go back here and change the stuff. I have the color that I have here. I have the color that I have in the background over here that I created a certain color. I can jump over here and then just do the same thing. I'm going to go back here, and that's going to be my background color. And I'm going to go to my circles over here, and I'm going to change that to a screen mode. So it's already here, and then this is looking cool. I might go back here to the green that was here before and change the green to another color. Or maybe in this case, maybe I want to change it to this color, but I'm checking out the color that I used here. I'm just want to go back here, and I use kind of like a light yellow, so I can jump over here, and then I already have that. And then if I go back here, I'm going to change that to my light yellow that I have over here, or the lighter one, and I can see that I have a different kind of color over here. But now let's look at the stuff that we have. Do we like the elements that we have? Do we like the typeface of who we are? So I'm just going to go back here and say who we are right now. Maybe I want to have it something different over here. And then you can see over here who we are over here. And then I'm just going to go back here and changing a little bit the typeface. So you see, I'm changing it. Maybe you want to go and do something that looks like that. Maybe you want to go in and have it something like this. And maybe I have some other information over here. So I have a default, and then I might go into a different, and purposely I'm kind of changing the typeface a little bit so we can learn how to change the typeface, who we are. Maybe we want to do something kind of funky, and look at that, right? So now I have a typeface called Abigail. Maybe I want to have it kind of in a circle. Not really, because that's not readable, but you have an option to do that. So another thing I kind of wanted you to I want us to talk about is really what are we using from Express that it is readable and it is accessible for us, and people can understand what we're doing, not just clicking on something and say, Express lets us do that. Because for me is if you have too many gradients and too many special effects somewhere, it's maybe not going to look so great. So I'm going to go back here and change that, who we are. And then you can go back here and change. I can go in and change the alignment. And then if I go back here to the one that I had before, I'm just going to go into a simple one and just do that, who we are. And then I'm just going to go in and do a shift return, and then maybe another shift return over here. So I just decided that I want to go with something very simple that I had before. That's Anton. And I'm going to go back here and just do it aligned to the right over here. Can I use different colors over here? What do you guys think? So maybe, how would I do that? I'm just going to go in and select it, and look what I have. It is the fill, exactly. So I have fields over here, but what if I wanted to use the green that we have over here? So if you have something in the image already and you want to sample, you go to your eyedropper and you sample the stuff that we have. Does that make sense? So I have that, and maybe I want to go in and click on that, and maybe I want to do who we are over here, or I'm just going to go back here and go back to white, which is a little bit different. Do I want to add some effects to it? At the moment, when you go in, you can go in and do outline. I don't like outline, so you'll see me barely using it. I don't like stroke on type, but that's me. Sometime a client's going to ask you, do something to emphasize. What else do you have over here all the way down? You're going to go back here and you're going to generate text effect. We're going to go through it a little bit in a minute. You can go in and create a shadow. So you can create a shadow in Adobe Express only for text at the moment, not for type. So I'm going to go back here, and that brings me to the area for the effect. I can do the color of the shadow. I can do none. I can do smooth. I can do anything, or I can do a custom shape too. At the moment, you can do a custom shape, but guess what? You cannot save it. So I do it, but if I really love it, I'm probably gonna write, yes. No, oh, sorry, for image, because text and type is the same. Thank you. Of course, you can do that for this and not for that. Yeah, they're the same. So yes, you can do it, because if I wanted to do like an effect for these two people that's sitting there, I cannot do a drop shadow yet. If I wanted them to do a beautiful effect, I have to probably go to Photoshop.
So like the white thing that's around them.
Yeah. Or let's see, maybe, who knows, right? That's a great question. So let's figure this one out. I'm going to move it around, and I'm going to go and move that. And I already see over here that I have two images over there. They were grouped. So I might go and ungroup it. This is the part I'm not crazy about, because I cannot take out my layers panel and see the layers like you see it in Photoshop and Illustrator and turn them on and off. I kind of have to figure out, who are they? Okay, they're grouped over here, right? Let's ungroup it. So when I'm ungrouping it, I'm going to go and look at one. Okay, this is that, and this is this one. So basically, this is kind of a shape that came from somewhere, could come from Photoshop as a silhouette from before and brought directly over here. Because you cannot really do it right now over here. Draw exactly, you can, I'll show you what I mean in a minute. There's a way to do it, not as great, but let's say I don't like that. I just am going to go back here and then click on them and bring them here. So now I kind of don't like this image. Oh, look what I did here. Okay, so I have it here, and I'm going to go back here, and then I'm changing it a little bit. Who we are. And then maybe I don't want that. You see, I have to click. You can lock layers. So what does it mean? If I go to who we are over here, I basically can go back here to, that's kind of like a little fly out menu, or the land of the three dots. That's what I call it. And I can lock it. So now this one is not going to move, but you can go and unlock it from here too. So it is not going to move for me. I can go back to this one, and then I can go and duplicate it, but also I can lock it. I can even, in a minute, I'll show you, because we're doing marketing, we can write comments, not good, good, bad, you know, because you might work with a client right now and they're going to say, what are you doing? It really doesn't look good. And what you wrote is out of whatever we decided yesterday. And you're going to go in and change the stuff. But I'm going to the image. That's what interests me right now. And look what it tells me over here. There was a background over here. It says remove object, remove background, and then erase something. So something that came in there that used to be, I don't know. Look at that, right? You don't want to do that, right? It's they don't have legs over here. So what if I wanted to have another image completely right now? But I'm not sure I want to give up this one. So I'm can turn it off, but I'm going to put it out. And now I'm going to go back here. I want to have another image about who we are. Maybe the client's going to send you images, but maybe I'm creating kind of a template right now. So I'm going to give a generic image right now. So I'm going to go back to my upload a file. I can upload photo, video, everything that I have. I can also go to media over here. So I can upload from my device, but I can do generate image. I do not like to do generate image for images so much for people. I like to do it for other stuff, but if I click on generate image, they're going to ask you for the size, and then you're going to go in and generate the image that you have. So if I click portrait, and I can even make it a little bit bigger and put it over here, they're going to ask me, what do we like to generate over here? So maybe we don't want to have an image over here of a person, but what if the company is about? Pretend the company is about the disability that I talked to you. Think about, give me a prompt about a marketing subject for a company, something that comes to mind, a product. Not doesn't have to be disability, anything else. We can later on do the my disability. Okay. Okay, and I'm waiting. And then I'm waiting for the results. And I'm waiting for the result. And it will come. Okay, look at that. So I have one food here, another food here, another food here. Do we like it? Okay, we don't like it. That's good, right? So what else can we do with it? First of all, maybe I want to go back here and I click when it says art and I want to make it as a photo or maybe graphics. By default, what was it said? It said art. Maybe yesterday I did something like this with art. It stays. So maybe you want to have something with graphics. And then we're going to go and look, and you want a graphics to be with maybe palette knife, layered paper. I'm just going to go and look for some effects that I have. And then I'm looking at the theme over here, and look what I see. I want to have something with cartoon or maybe a collage. And then I'm generating. So really what I mean, kind of like, if you're starting in a minute and doing stuff, start looking and experimenting, because now it's going to give me something a little bit different. Maybe I like that a little bit better already, because maybe I like this one. Look at that. That looks kind of like, that gives me some kind of idea, right? I have some kind of stuff, and I'm going to go and let's say, look at that. But before that, I'll tell you how I work with it. Not a lot of people work like this. I kind of like want to do something else with it. I don't want to lose this one because it's a web application. So everything goes right away there. I duplicate first. Always been, I mean, even if new effects now, even in Photoshop, if you have this and that, I'm duplicating. And then I can delete the duplication, right? And then I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to go. How would you duplicate? Copy and paste, right? Everybody remembers. And if you hold down the Option or Alt key and click on it, you duplicate. If you know the other Pro Tools in Photoshop, in Adobe, every time you hold on the Option or Alt key, you duplicate something. In Premiere, in After Effects, in Illustrator, and InDesign, everywhere. It's almost like, I don't know, a language, right? So this one I'm going to bring, I kind of like this image. So I'm going to go back here. I can replace it. What else can I do with it? I can copy, I can paste, I can duplicate. I can also bring to front. I can do other stuff to it. And I can go other, you can see I can do other stuff with it. Again, forward, backwards, and all that. But now what I want to do with it, I'm going to the left side. And I'm going to say, you know what? Remove background, because maybe see, it didn't remove it all the way, but could be something that could be some kind of a logo, right? Maybe just the hand that's showing the world but I don't like this area here because that's how he did it for me. So I might go back here to the erase area. And then in the erase area, I have a quick selection and I have a circle brush. And I'm going to go to the circle brush and I say, well, they took away the other one. So I might just go back here and just erase this. And then maybe I'm going to zoom into it a little bit. And then going to the brush over here, I'm going to make the brush a little smaller. I might even make the hardness of the brush hard or soft. And then I'm just going to go back here and try to fix it a little bit. Not bad. And I'm fixing it. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm saying, okay, I don't like this one over here. So I'm fixing it a little bit better. Again, if you wanted to do something absolutely perfect, of course it will be Photoshop, but that's going to be really great over here when you have that. And then if you click restore, it will restore everything. And then it restores it kind of with a selection that you have over here. So I'm just going to go back here and then I'm going to go back to the erase. And let's say I kind of want to have it over here. So I'm just going to move in and I might go back here and select it. So I don't need to go to the erase. I'm going to go back here, maybe make it a little bit bigger and then put it somewhere here. So maybe that's the beginning about who we are. And I have something like this. So this one, I kind of don't need it right now, but I don't want to go in and take it away what I have. But I'm going to go back here to my stuff over here. And then this is what I have in my stuff. And I'm going to go in and these are maybe my libraries. And I made some libraries already. I have General Assembly. I have something called Adobe Express. I have stock photos, template, different kind of things. I'm just going to go back in to Adobe Express over here. And then that's what I have, the stuff I can drag and drop and bring stuff from my stuff directly from here that I have over here. So now I can go back here and I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to go back here and add the assets over here. And if I save the one, I can add any asset that I have from my desktop directly to the area that I have. I can move this one right now there, but I can add it to the assets while I'm somewhere else for now, and then go back here and bring here. So I can go and sort it out and do different kind of things. I'm just going to go in and cut it out because I want to use that. The we are here, I don't want to use these people. And then I might have this stuff here and then hold down and then unlock that. And I might just go back here and group it, or if I don't want to group it, that's okay. And I have something that I can start working with it. Yes. I can edit if I have it in my file somewhere if I downloaded it. So I can go in to create an image and download it, and then I can go and edit to my libraries. And then I can drag and drop it. I think in the future, you'll be able to go in and really build some stuff, but you can also go here and build your own libraries over here. So I can have that, and this is Adobe Express, and this is my libraries that I have over here. And then I have a new library, and I can call the new library, let's say, marketing with food. And then save into my personal storage or create a web page. So I can create a web page with it, or I can go back here and just create that over here. And I have some kind of a new library that I have over here. So I can start uploading assets. I can add templates to everywhere that I have. So if I'm going to go back here to upload the assets, I can go back here and then click here and start uploading the stuff that I have. And then, okay, it just takes a moment over here. And I can start adding and building my own libraries. Does that make sense? So far, this is what we have, and we can go and continue. I'm just gonna go in and play with it a little bit. Okay, I'm stuck. Yes, when I unstuck, something happened. You can wait for become responsive or exit the page. Okay, I'm gonna exit the page. Whoops. So what I have over here, I have something that didn't work for a minute, and then I'm just gonna have, and it's all good. Oops. So we kind of like lost the Wi-Fi at the moment. In the middle of my class while I'm just gonna share the screen again, and then I'm gonna share it again. No harm done, and it's just gonna go back here and brings it back to the area and continues printing it out. And then I'm just gonna go back here and I have that. So I have it, I'm good. It just happened, right? It chokes. And when does it happen? Guess why? When you present. Anytime you tell, it's so fast, it's so wonderful, it happens. Calm down, nothing happened, right? No, nothing happened. Okay, so let's do the erase, right? Again, so I'm gonna go into the next page, or maybe I'm gonna go into this page, and I'm just gonna go back here. I'm going to this page, and I'm going to change it. I don't like these colors, so I'm just gonna go and change that to a different swatch over here. And then I'm just gonna go in and change that, and then go back to my layers panel, and then all the way down to the layers panel. I'm going to find dots, little dots. I'm making it kind of like more approachable and looks a little bit different. So now maybe I want to go, instead of what we do, I'm just going to go in and create an image, right? Or I'm going to paste. Remember I had this one before? So I'm pasting it here. So what am I doing right now? I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And now I'm going to go into remove background. And I remove the background, but not perfect for me, right? So I can go to the erase area. And in the erase area, I can say quick selection, and I can go into the area, and the quick selection based on, you see, it's faster. It's a little more dangerous sometimes, because if you click and drag, it will figure out with the size of your brush and takes it away. I feel sometimes it's easier for me to go to a circle brush, change the size of the brush a little bit, and then go back here and just do it quietly. So you see the beginning, I went in and did it faster. And now I'm gonna go back here and create it based on the stuff that I have. And now I have it here. If I need to restore it, I can restore it. So this one comes from Photoshop, remove background. It's really awesome to the stuff that you have. What else do I want to do it? I wanted to remove the background, but now I want to look, does that make sense now? Okay, so I highly suggest, if you have a big thing, go first to the quick selection and do the fast one, and then go to the tiny little areas with the brush, and then you can just go around. So now let's go back here and look. What if I don't like that? Look what I have over here. First of all, I have blending mode. Unfortunately, you only have right now multiply and screen. I use screen a lot for shadows and kind of watermark and things like this. You'll see in a minute on the presentation that I did. I use that, which is kind of cool, because look at this. It looks really nice and not really invasive. And you can put type on top of it and create depth. But if I want just to do it maybe the regular one, I can go to the effect now and look what I can do now. So this one is a duotone effect based on the screen mode that I have. So it's going to change it a little bit. Or I can go in and just do no effects. And then I'm just going to select that. And I'm going to go back to the blending mode. I'm going to do normal. And now I'm going to go to the effect. And maybe I want to make it kind of grayscale. I like to use a lot of grayscale. So and I also like the images in my presentation to be clear, representing, but not taking over and not too much. Because if it's too much and too much text, people get like completely kind of like confused. I like it to be nice and clean so they know I'm reading the left side and I see this side over here and it's all kind of cool. But I can go in and make it in a darken mode. It's all depending what you have over here. And it is non-destructive. What does it mean? If I present it, I share with you the template in a minute, you don't like it, guess what you can do? I don't like it. It's done. It's the same image that you have in a different kind of effect that you have. I can select it again. I can also go to adjustment. I can go back here and change the contrast. I can change the brightness. I can change the highlight. I can change the colors. I can change all the warmth. I can sharpen it. And I can even blur it, which I'm not going to do. But sometimes maybe you want to show something blurry, especially when you say readability, you're going to maybe do something in marketing and say, well, I want to emphasize that the text has to be readable. So maybe you do one text like that and say, and this one don't ever use. And you can go back here and do that. Once again, I can save the whole thing as a template, the whole presentation, but I cannot save the effects that I just changed. So if you really like effects or things that you created, save the whole thing as a template and then go back to it or write it down. Maybe one day you'll be able to save and add the effect. At the moment, not. Well, it is new. It's been a year since they did the whole thing. We are getting baby steps, but we're making it happen. So I have that here and it's all good. If I really wanted to have kind of an effect to it underneath, that's what I can't really do. So look what I'm doing. I'm copying it, Command C and Command V, and I have basically two of them kind of like one on top of each other. So I might go into the one on the bottom over here, and maybe I'm going to change the effects over here and make this one maybe kind of like dark over here, and maybe select this one again and go into the adjustment and change the contrast and change the brightness and change the highlight and change the shadows and change the saturation and the warmth all the way. And then now I'm going to go to the other one and I might just go by here and create some kind. This is my drop shadow. See what I just did? So I created my little drop shadow within Adobe Express. So I took the other image, made it a little darker, and now it looks a lot better. And then I might select the two of them. And basically, I'm going to go in and group it. So I'm going to select the one and the two. I think they're all the way up in the top of my layer panel over here. I don't know if we have limitation. Nobody asked me yet, but I don't know if we have limitation to amount of layers yet. Don't know if there has limitation or doesn't have limitation to it, but maybe they didn't talk about it yet. But I'm going to go back here and I'm selecting the two of them, and then basically I'm going to group it. So now it's grouped and it's moving together, and I kind of have a drop shadow. So my pretend drop shadow, if I wanted a better one, of course, I would have done it in Photoshop, and then I could have brought it over here. Does that make sense? Any question so far before I'm going to go to my presentation and before I'm showing you another way of presenting? Yes.
So I figured out how they did the white the white outline for the people and basically they just kind of erase the background and then whited out
Yeah, they went in with a pen and white it out. Yeah. So thank you. So they went back. Yeah, you know what she's saying, right? Let's say I'm gonna go back here. Basically, they erased the background over here, and then they went again and they added the stuff over here, so they had the background right away over here, right?
like the way that you were changing the colors for like duotone, they just whited it all out.
They white it all out that you have here. So basically that I have one and then whited it out, and that's what I have kind of like the background and the eraser that we have over here. So it's very easy to make, thank you. And then the eraser. So depending on the techniques, you're gonna ask me now, can I draw something? What if you see the arrow over here? How did they get the arrow over here? So they have it over here, and there's something that they brought over here from this little area over here, and they drew something and they brought something over here, and that was the thickness. They brought something that they kind of like played with it, but they cannot really right away draw inside over here. So how can you do that and how can you draw? I'm gonna go back here. They brought a shape. So there used to be a real shape over here, but now they just took it away over here. And then you can go back here and then go to photos and all, and then go back here and go to the shapes that they have. And then the shape is inside the elements that we have over here. So if I'm going to bring, let's say, any kind of element over here, let's say I have that here. This is basically a shape that they have, and the shape is black. And then I can go back here to other colors that I have here and maybe make that to a different color. And then they don't have a stroke. They call it a border over here. And then you can make a border color. And then if I go back here, I can make a border color over here and make the border kind of like bigger or smaller and have it in 3 different ways over here or none. So I have something, and then you can go and somebody can say something inside. So I might go into the text and change it and put it on top and put some stuff in there. So you kind of like, if I'm going to go back here, I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to do bring front. And now if I'm making it a little smaller, you can see that I have it here. And then maybe I want to have that a different kind of color. And now I have it here. So I have something inside the area that says like a bubble talk or things like this, right? But now, what if I wanted to draw something? How many people want to draw something? I do, right? Not great, but look what I'm doing. I'm going to click over here. And basically, I'm going to go back here. And then I am going to go back here and go into my stuff over here. And then if I'm going to go back to my area here, I can name it. I'm going to call it marketing 1. And then let's see what I can do with the stuff that I have over here. I'm going to go and check it out because I have some stuff here. So I can go all the way up here, and then I can go in and save it and keep it. I can go, okay, I'm going to go back here and let's see what I can do all the way up here. I'm just going to go into my view and I'm going to exit the full screen mode so I can see all the stuff. Because of Zoom, I couldn't see the stuff in the full screen mode. So I can present it. And then that's in a presentation mode. I didn't finish the presentation, but I can go in and present it. I can actually download it. I can download it as a PDF file. I can go in and print it and deliver it. I can go and submit for feedback. I can go back here and have some comments. And I can go back here and invite people to do something. So in the invite people to do something over here, I can copy a link and ask people to come in and share and do some stuff with me. So I can do that. I can also go into the download And in the download, I can go back here and make it into a PDF, JPEG, or whatever I have, and I can do all the pages, and then I can go even and show bleeds if I want to go back here and do the stuff that I have. And then I can go back here and asking me how do I want to print it. I don't want to print it over here. But now I'm just going to go back here, and then I'm going back outside. I kind of saved it. Automatically, it will save over here. I have the presentation over here. And this is the part that it's a little awkward because I'm going to go back here to the plus sign and asking you, what do you want to do? And I'm going to click over here and look what I have. Custom size, logo, all kind of stuff that I want to do. What I want to do over here, I'm going to do click drawing. And in the drawing, I have regular drawing and drawing worksheet. Don't go to the drawing worksheet. That's for kindergartners and elementary school. I'm going to open it for you, but it's funny. It's just you draw like color books. So this is really for young users. Like you say, okay, everybody is really not listening today. Let's draw. And that's this one. I'm going to go to the regular drawing over here. So this is what you have over here. It's really simple. I'm already telling you. So what we have over here, it's sizes of the brush and then different kind of brushes. And it says soft brush, hard brush, dotted brush, all kind of different brushes that I have over here. And they give you assortment of brushes. Let me just go in and do some kind of a brush. And then you can go into the size and then you can do the color. I'm just going to make it black for now. And then depending, I chose a brush that's a decorative. There's art supply and regular. And let's say I'm just going to go in and just do that. I just did kind of a little drawing only. I kind of wanted that to be in my presentation. And look at me, I'm quiet because I don't think I can do that, right? But I'm going to see how it's going to work. So I can also do a symmetry. So if I didn't want to do that, let's just do something with a symmetry. So I'm going to go back here and I could have done the whole thing and draw with this brush in a symmetry. Ooh, that's a little nicer, right? I wish I didn't have this one over here. I can download it if I want. So I'm going to go in and do the symmetry off on. I'm going to go and turn it off now. And then I can download it. The erase has erase all. I'm first going to do erase all. And because I just wanted to do the symmetry. And then I'm just going to go back here. And then I'm just going to go back here. See, I changed the color. And then if I want to do another color, I'm just going to go in and do that. Whoa, guess what I can do with it? A lot of stuff, but it is in Express. I'm going to go and download it. It downloaded it as a JPEG and then download complete. Okay, now I'm just going to go back and going back here. I'm going to my presentation. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, sure. I'm going to go back here. It is a standalone right now. It's not, I would love it if I go directly to the presentation and draw on it, right? Not right now. So look what I'm doing. I'm going to the plus sign. And then even here, what do you want to create? I'm going to type drawing. And as soon as you can even type DROA, and you see drawing and drawing worksheet. It doesn't do it? So are you, is this part of the Creative Cloud or? Okay, Adobe ID?
Yeah, with my, system, the USB.
The USB one. Oh, okay, maybe That's weird. Would be, that's good that it happened though, because maybe some subscriptions do not have it. Go again. Type drawing. Please find drawing. Please check selling. That's weird. So were you able to do drawing?
Yes.
Okay. So it's probably, who does, it's probably the subscription. You have drawing? So some people have, some people don't. So
Is it just me? Okay, that's okay.
no, it could be your subscription or something. She doesn't have, yeah.
I opened it through the web. This is the cloud. Because I opened it through the web and
Yeah. Yeah, try opening from the cloud.
okay. If you open it from the cloud, then you can.
Yeah, it's good to know though, because every time I'm learning something, I'm telling you, there's not something that you do and it's happening, right? So open it. So what I did drawing. And while you're opening, I'll show you the other one that you're not gonna use, but this is it makes me laugh because okay, guys, you were bad. So I want you to color the fruit, right? So basically you can go back here, you can choose that, and then you start coloring it. And then basically what it does, it is going to go in and color it and stay in there. So it's really kitty-like. Does that make sense? That's the other one. I don't use this one, but that's kind of like people like to show it, and you have different template, and you have kind of images that you have there, and then different template, and look at that. Different kind of things. If you want to use that, it's not that I'm using that. I'm using shape worksheet, maybe for kindergarten, right? But what if I did already the drawing? I'm going to go into my presentation. And then I want to go and put the drawing somewhere here. I don't want that. I want to put the drawing somewhere here right now. So now basically I'm going to go back here to my media over here, and then I'm uploading it from my device, and I'm going to go back here and looking at the stuff that I downloaded it, and it is in my download. And that's what I have right now. And I save that as a PNG transparent. And this is what I have. And I have my drawing. So that could be a solution that you draw around an image, but you don't see the image. So basically, you can go back here and draw. And that could be something that I'm going to put somewhere over here. And then instead of having it here, maybe it's kind of like a nice little logo of my company over here. Does that make sense? And that's going to be here. And I have the drawing over here. So this is the drawing that I have over here. And then I can go back here and just play with it and do different stuff. I can also go in and duplicate it, and gonna go in and put it over here or put it anywhere that I want to have. And I can go back to the drawing, change the drawing, and then it is going to go in and change it over here. So the drawing is another standalone. Were you able to open the drawing now? Oh, okay. And then that's what I have over here. And then I can go back here and then share the design and share everything that I have. And look what I have over here. So I can share it with anybody. I can also bring it directly to Dropbox. I save it to the cloud. I can make a template. So if I think I just created something absolutely amazing, I'm going to create a template from the template. And then I can go in and decide. So if I'm making a template, I can also view only link. If I want somebody just to view it, I can tell them to view it. But I can go into any stuff that I have, like let's say Express and more, or anything that I have, or test brand, or something like this. And then I'm going to go in, put a note over there and say, here is
a template to work with. And then I'm going to go in and save it, and then save the template. And now it's going to go to this library, and I can share a link with somebody and they can do the stuff and work with. Does that make sense? So you can make a template for anything that you have. So I'm going to go in and show you what happened over here. So let's say I did something already. And this one is a project that I did over here, kind of to show you. And then it tells you that it is a copy of the link that I have. And I did a project proposal based on the stuff that I told you. Remember, I said something with handicapped and everything. So what do I have over here? I have a handicapped person over here. And if I move in here, I want to see what I did. I grouped the stuff over here. And then if I want to ungroup it, I can go and ungroup it. But I see I changed the opacity. I can make it darker, but I made it in a screen mode. In a normal mode, that's the image that I had. Where did I take it from? I took it from Creative Cloud. In this case, I took it from Creative Cloud. But what if you wanted to do it for, maybe you can see a wheelchair or something like this, or you want to go in and do different kind of image that you have. So I have this, I have a copy of it. So I'm not afraid I'm going to like ruin that, but I can go and change that. And the way I started it, I created the first page first. So I'm going to show you how I started to build it. I did it custom made, and I started it just by creating one page. Presentation, created one page. And then I did, let's say, product proposal. That was the color. That was the whatever I had with it. And then I just left it there. And really what I did over here, I ended up going in and changing the stuff. So what I did that, I just went back to the page that I had over here. And in the presentation with the page that I have, I went all the way down and look what I have. Insert a new page or duplicate. Skip a page, delete, edit timeline, or edit transition. So I duplicated the page. And look what I have now. I have another page that looks a little bit different. And then I decided this one, I'm going to have to go in and write something else different, right? The first one was the welcome, but I wanted to stay with the same typefaces. I wanted to stay with the same thing that I have. So I did have this is the logo from the disability. How did I find it? I went into website. I just went here to a new page and I went back here and just went and I did Easter seal, yeah, disability. I don't think so. You have an access, I think the 10 free ones you can do a month and the rest is going to be, but you can go to Adobe Stock and then start looking for freebies. Yeah. So I basically found I just copy and pasted it. I mean, actually, basically what I did is, I think I have it even here. I just uploaded for my device. I went into the Express. These are the images that I have. And I have some image that looks like that. What did I do? I cut it from the website. I went to the website and I cut it out. And I basically did remove background. And then I went back here and removed the background over here and start erasing the stuff that I had and start kind of working with it. So this is all what I did is over here. Just remove the background. And then actually I'm lying. I didn't do it. Look at that. I think I was lazy. So I went back here and changed that to a multiply mode. When you change a multiply mode, that's a trick that you can do a lot of time. It takes the light color and pushing them back. Take the dark color and push them up. So sometimes if I have the right image and I'm lazy, Look what happened. Cool. The white is going away. I just remember this is what I did, right? And I have the Easter seal over here. And if I put it here, it's darker, lighter, whatever you put in here, I don't have the white anymore. So that's where I put it there over here. The same thing I did with the sketcher. I think the sketcher doesn't look so good. I can show you in here. I just paid attention. Look at the sketcher. Do you see that? Probably I didn't. So I might go back here and do multiply. Do you see what happened? Sometimes the sketcher people will tell you, oh, that's not our colors. But I said, it's just a presentation. If you wanted to do it perfect, you ask the client to send you the logo, right? Because it's not your logo and that's what you have. And I did it over here. So what do I want to have in the second page that I did? In the second page, I wanted something to be like a creative brief. I'm just going to copy it right now. And then basically what I did in the second one, deleted these guys and pasted the creative brief. And that's what I have. And that's how I continued and went again and again and duplicating. And this is something that you do from scratch. So how did I start it? I basically went into, I want to show you how I started. Basically, I went back here and I went to a presentation. And this is how I started. I didn't go to a logo, to a template. Because I searched templates and I didn't like any. And then I said, you know what? The only thing that I had though is I wrote down what I wanted to do. So I just want to show you what I mean. I'm going to show you, I have it over here. Like I ended up going in here and then I created a little design brief for myself because I didn't want to sit there and say, oh, what am I going to do? So remember the goals. And then I wrote to myself, what is the challenge? I tested myself, right? And I said to myself, the design brief has to be the challenges about the two organizations. So one of them is going to be brand versus event. What is the difference between the two of them? One is selling, one is doing. So one, you're going to talk about sneakers and different kind, The other one, what is actually the event? And the truth is, why did I choose this event? Because I have a friend who is handicapped and she did this challenge. And then my daughter wrote the script for her challenge. And actually, I participated in the challenge as an actress. So I'm not going to show you the video. You don't want to see that, embarrassing myself, but maybe I will show it to you. But that's where I got the idea because we had a challenge during the event to dress the people that were handicapped. And I said, if we had the sneakers, we're just going to go in and start filming, not walking because they couldn't walk, but at least something to help. And I thought that could be a great challenge for somebody to create. So I wrote like overview of the brand and then think, why am I doing it? Step effortless. And then I wrote down featuring the sketchers and then potential approaches. What we're going to do, demonstrate videos, interview people, interview the disabled people, interview the makers, kind of looking at what I wanted to do. So all this stuff over here, if I want to bring it into the presentation, guess what I have to do? Copy and paste. Does that make sense? That's what I said before. You cannot go in and place it directly into your presentation right now because so I have to open what I wrote. Sometimes I write it on simple text and then you copy and paste and copy and paste, or put stuff for position only and put the stuff inside the area. And I put some extra stuff. Project could be delivered, they can do the PDF. I wrote to myself, and then I wrote to myself different kind of links to go back here and maybe show the client, what am I based on? Because you say, did you invent it? Yes, I invented the project, but it is based on two companies that we have maybe asked permission also to do that, right? So this is what I did over here. So kind of like if I go into the entire, I can start doing it. So if I started, I'm going to go into a background color. And then I can go back here, and I decided to do background color, some kind of light gray. And then I decided to go back here and go to my elements, and then I'm going to go to the shapes over there, and then they have background, and then they have shapes. And then I'm going to go to a shape over here, and basically I'm going to go back here, and then I'm just going to do that. And then maybe I'm going to put it like this. And this one, I might go in, and if I wanted to stay with the swatches that I have, I'm going to have it, let's say, a light gray. And that's how I started. And I can put some other elements in there, or I can continue. So now I'm going to go back here, and I can put the text over here as a general text. And I'm going to go back here and add my own text. And then I'm going to do select all, and then I'm going to say design brief. And then select all, and then I can decide. I'm going to go back here and just do design brief here. So all kind of stuff, how do I want to go and do it? And then how do I want to align it? I cannot decide it on the look and then change the stuff while I'm going. So that can be here, and maybe I'm going to go and talk about myself and then start duplicating the pages and add more stuff to it. Does that make sense? So that's a presentation. I'm going to go and show you the rest of the presentation, and let's go and look at a different kind of presentation. So basically, this was my regular presentation. And then I'm presenting it right now, so you can see what I did. I did XXXXX because I made it into a template. And I said, if I'm going to send it to people to work with, I made a template for them. And then the creative brief. And I typed the stuff there so they can change the typeface, they can change the content. And what I didn't include here is images. They can put their own images over here if they want. And then you can see it's heavy with a lot of text over here, but you see I have like the wheelchair as a background all the way here. It's hard to see it, but I have like a watermark all the way. And then what I did over here, I put the stuff. So all of a sudden, oh, this one I did as an example, this is AI. You can see already it's an AI because it's not real people. And I wrote it and I did it as graphics. And then I said people on wheelchair with sneakers. That's what I typed. That was my comp over there. And then I go back here and I should have put more images, of course. And then in the end, I said budget and resources. And I just did influencer and everything here and conclusion and Q&A, and I did that. So if somebody, and I made it into a template. So if somebody took it, they can change a lot of stuff. I didn't put stuff for position only for images, but I could. And it just was a work in progress. But I'm going to go back here and see for the one that I have. I'm going to go back here, and this is the guys that I have over here. So these guys that I have into the effect here, and this one was in the effect over here. And then I can go back here, and then you can see what I wrote. My prompt was a disabled person on a wheelchair with sneakers. So I did that, right? I didn't lie, but I can go in and change that to something a little bit different and regenerate it. So it's still there, the prompt is still there, and then maybe I'm gonna get something else in here and then change it. So does that make sense? And look at this. So I have him like this because I took away the background. What? Yeah. Yeah, this one look more real. I just play with different ones and then I can change it. I can also go back here and do the effect and the other stuff that I have over here. So that's one thing. And I want to show you just the text that you can do in AI. And then I'm going to show you how to create a marketing one, which I love with web page, because that will be able to put more links into it. And it kind of looks like you're using HTML5. And people are going to think you're very smart. And what if you don't know how to use it? It's really cool. I use 90% of the stuff. A lot of my presentations will be in in web page. I'm just gonna go back here and just create something. I'm just gonna create just a flyer. And I'm just gonna go in and just gonna do comic content. And I'm just gonna go. So you can start creating something from a content. This is the image actually that I have. You see that? I just took away the background and I'm just gonna go back here and then I'm just gonna make it into a square. So I'm starting, let's say, with this one. Maybe I want to do an ad to my campaign later. I wanted to show you the stuff that I don't use a lot, but people is asking about it. So I want to make sure you see that. And what is that? Add your text over here. And then when I'm going to go in to add the text, you can go and add the text that you have all the way over here, but you can see generate text effect. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say hello. And generate text effect. And it takes the hello right now and water it. So they have effect samples. And I'm going to see all of them. And these are the AI samples. And the first one is a balloon sample. I have actually a suggestion for you guys. When you test them, don't type a big sentence because some of them takes a long time to upload. So I'm going to do something, hello or hi or something. And if I like it, I type something. But what I have over here, let's say I'm going to say hello. And this one is the reflective. And I have blue grid. So you can see it's going to go back here and then the different kind of samples. And they're going to tell you which sample is doing. And it says a dark blue and gold marble pattern background. So maybe you want to give me some kind, and then you see the result. That's result, another result, another result, another result. And I can generate even more effect over here. I can change the typeface to different typeface that I have. I can change the font to a different font. I can go back here. It's going to take a moment. I can go over here and change it to loose, medium, tight. I can make it realistic, embellished, pencil sketch, and colorful. I'm going to do a pencil sketch, and in a minute, it is going to go back here and do it in a different kind. The same thing that I have, but it is going to go and do it like a pencil sketch. But if you want to do your own thing over here, now you can go and put some stuff over here. So I can go in and say wheelchair with a balloon. And then I'm going to go in and generate. Probably wheelchair is not a very good prompt for it because it's going to be very tiny, but you can put different kind of thing. And sometimes if you do the wrong thing, it will tell you not going to happen. It does not going to say not going to happen. It said not available. Look at this, probably. See, it's just choking on me. Okay, the generative here. He didn't want to go and do that over here. So I'm just going to go back here. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say, add something different. So I'm going to say flowers and stars. And then now I'm just going to go back here and generate. And now it's thinking about it. So in a minute, you're going to get the flowers and stars, not bad, different kind of effect. If you want to generate more, you can start generating more. So you want to know it's there. I don't think it's as important, but hey, that's what it is. So let's look at the second part. What if I needed to do the marketing presentation and I wanted it to move a little bit more? Or maybe the marketing is not marketing, or maybe it is a portfolio looking thing. So I'm going to go back here and I'm first going to show you what I made. And I have different kind of stuff over here. And I'm gonna go back here. And then I'm looking at the stuff that I have. And then all the way down, I'm just gonna say view all. And in the view all, look at this. All the stuff that I did with you, it's already there. And look what I have. You see screenshots over here? You can see that I'm working with samples. I was looking for little things all over the place with sneakers, with legs, with, all over. Some of them I actually end up, but you can see this guy and this guy. And the project proposal, I started here. I started something with Skechers. I played with it for a long, long time to see what I have over here. And then I'm looking at the stuff over here, and let's see what I have over here. This is another project that I did as a presentation, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And let's see what I have over here. Okay. And then I'm looking at more stuff. So now I'm going to see over here, and then I can see here advertising stuff. And in a minute, I'm going to go here, let's say to this one. This one is a web page. And I created it last year for Adobe Max event here because we had a lot of people that came to town from overseas. This year, by the way, you guys should check it out. It is in Florida, October 14th, but you can sign in online for free. And a lot of stuff is online, and you get so much stuff there, and it's free for everybody. You're not going to start flying to Florida, even though student has discount. When it was last year over here, a lot of students from it came because they gave you a special price, but you can sign in online and see that. So now look what I have here. It's all was in Express. Look at this. That's the max information. I even have a link over there to the stuff. I even have a table of content about everything that I have. And now I'm basically telling everybody what's going to happen and where to go in downtown LA while you are in the convention center. And everything has a link. And let's say if you go to the art district and then you want to hear something about that, you can go back here. I'm not going to go in here now because it's from my event. But if I clicked on the link, it will show you right away where to go and what to do. So how do you start something like that? Because this is something great. And of course, you need to have your images and your text and everything that you have. What I'm going to do is I might go in and just copy something. I'm just going to copy so I have text. Or I might go in and have just a template. And I'm going back to here, and I'm going to go and create something new. And in this case, I'm going to go and create a web page. So now this is new. They took it away for a while, but now they brought it back. They have template to create a web page, which is really fun and easy to do that. So if I wanted to create a web page for education, maybe tell somebody how to work, maybe for an event. Yes. Yes. You'll share the link. You can put it on the internet and share the link.
Not like a website.
No. It's a link that you share with somebody. Let's say tomorrow morning, your client, you're going to a job interview. They're calling you now and they say, listen, we want to interview you tomorrow. Bring your portfolio. You don't have it yet. You didn't put it on Behance. You don't have it yet. You have tons of images somewhere. And you say, well, should I go to India? Should I do a presentation? Or I'm going to send them a link. And they want you to send the link in 2 hours. So that's actually really a good solution. Okay, so here is, it used to be that you could, they kind of took it away for a little bit, and I'll tell you the work around it. Once you publish your event or whatever, I'll show you how to print it. Once you publish it, you can go and print a PDF. It's not perfect because you're going to have to fix it a little bit, but you can print a back a backup as a PDF. You can insert a video in both of them. Yeah, yeah. Like, let's say, do I have a video on one of them? Probably I do, but let's say if I'm going to go back here, let's say I'm going to preview this one and then send you, it's a wedding site. I don't know, somebody created a wedding site and then I'm going to use, oh, I don't like that. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Let's say portfolio. And then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to preview it first. Sometime I'm telling you, yellow company story. That's a portfolio, success story. I'm going to use this template. This is my favorite thing in Express, if you ask me. It's really my favorite.
But it's the same thing as InDesign, right?
InDesign is not the same because you can do a PDF from whatever you do, but it takes longer and depending it is. This is immediate. So you can see here, customize this template. So this is the success story and they're telling you all the stuff. This is how they decided about on the brand that they did. But you also have other themes that Adobe Express tells you. So let's say I want to do a theme with a storybook. So you can see in a minute, this is the success story that I have over here. And then I can start going in here and start doing some stuff. So I can go and check that and change whatever I have. I can also go back here to the image and replace the image. So I'm going to go replace the image. I don't have images right now. You can upload from your device. I'm going to put some images from here. They're giving you some ideas. I'm going to go and put these images. And then I have the image that I have here, and this is the beginning of my story over here. Now I want to go back here and I can go in and just tell the story. I can go back here and replace the images. I can tell the story. This is a link. Over here, they put, of course, a link to Adobe Stock, right? Because if I click over here, if I click in the edit, you can see it says newexpress.adobe.com, of course. Why? Because they want you to click on Express, but you have kind of like the stuff over here. If I'm going to go back here, I can present it or I can do the preview. I'm going to see how it looks. So when it is a preview, it's going to go to Express now. And then this is the success story about this company. And then I can go in the end and do that and then end the stuff and then go back here and click. So I want to show you what I mean why working with it. I'm going to go back here to and I did a very fast one the other day just to show how to work with it. Hopefully I saved it. And then I'm just going to go back here. I have art. Oh, I have this one. And this one I said, I'm going to show my portfolio. And then the text that I have was blah, 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 blah. And then you see artists. So I'm just going to go back here. And I did stuff like this. For me, I called it digital painting. I'm going to go back here. And then I'm going to go in and make it into a cover. I made it short cover. If you make it into a big cover, it's going to be bigger. I wrote a text, I said artist statement. You can see here, I didn't write anything. I just typed something. And then I went back here and created something and put my images. And the image is the water dancer. It's a real image that I created. And it's basically my portfolio. So I want to send the client, because he was looking for digital painters. So I'm sending it to him and I said, here's an idea how I made that. And this is the two looks. I made this image, but I have different views with this image and different color. And then I have something I called abstract art. And then in the abstract art, I did some other stuff and then self-portrait. And I'm showing him how I created different kind of self-portraits. So if I'm going to go back here and say see more portrait, if I went back here, to the presentation, all the links are actually different links, I think. So I don't know where I linked it to, and then I see more portraits. I went, okay, I linked it directly to that, so that's not what I wanted to do, but I'm going to go back here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what happened when you have too many. Okay, it's here. So the links were like to Adobe Express, but more portraits. So look what I have over here. I brought some more portraits, and now the client can see, what are you doing? So it's basically more kind of like interactive. And then I have something called I Love Coffee. So I'm showing the client all my paintings that I did with coffee cups, right? And then still life. And then some other stuff of other still life that I have over here. And in the end, I basically can go in and write some information about everything that I have. So yes, you're right. Creating a web page is kind of a little bit different because you send the client your link. You cannot do your link. I cannot say hanamesser.com, It's an Adobe link. It's Adobe link. You can embed it anywhere that you have, but it is a link that you have. But I want to show you the workaround over here. If I'm going to go into something that I already published, and then I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to go into Express, and then Express and marketing, and then I have something with Express that I already did, and then I'm going to click on, of course, if I want to find the right that I made, I'm going to go back. Okay, I have an Express one that I already made, and I called it, I actually shared with you a link for the Illustrator about our program and everything in the overview and explain. This is Illustrator Hidden Gems, right? So it was done over here, and then as a tutorial. And I have a link over here, and then in the end of it, I even went in here and gave a link to everybody, and then just my link to Behance over here if somebody wants to follow me and other stuff that I have. So now if I want to print it and have another copy, print, you can do, I can go into File and Print, and that's the workaround. And then instead of, I'm going to save it as a PDF. But it is not going to be a perfect PDF because look how many pages it tells me, 40. So a lot of places that you have just a title, it's going to be a page in PDF, but you can go in Acrobat and fix it.
Can you like insert video, but not to a link, not to like a trainer?
At the moment, you can go in and you can see the link of the video that it is in Vimeo and everything, but it's going to play over here directly. The,
In the
in,
project?
yeah, 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 I'll show you in a minute. I have, yes, do you have a question? In the web page? No, in web page is one big page. What I do a lot over here, I do another link that goes to another web page and to another one, and I have kind of multiply. It's basically a portfolio-based presentation, if you call it. And then the multiple pages that you have, that's your presentation. In the presentation, you can do animation, you can move the sentence. I mean, you can do movable stuff and add some more stuff to it. And that's the new one that you have right now. So depending on that, if I saving it, it's going to be 40 pages. I'm just going to save it. And then I'm going to put it on my desktop. And it's probably going to take, you see, but I have a link here. The link is live. I'm going to go back here and it takes the link for my portfolio and Behance and everything there that I have. Does that make sense? So now if I go back to where I saved it, I'm gonna go back here and let's say I'm gonna go and hide others and I'm gonna see where I save the stuff. And then this is my PDF. Doesn't look so great. The first one, maybe it's okay. Do you see what happened? The way the web page was thinking, that's the way I got it. But I can be creative and put it together for backup. But I kind of like the goal is, if you want to really do a PDF for me, I do it for backup. So I know what I wrote. The presentation is a web. If you want to do a presentation, like the way you're thinking as a PDF, do a presentation. That's the two different ways of working with it. So let's look, I'm going to show you another presentation. Then we open it to a Q&A. So you can see here, and I have a presentation that I created for the certified conference, right? I went to a certified conference and I was supposed to do stuff on the new certification. So it's not the one we are doing here, but this one, it was here. And then if I'm going to go in and present it, basically this is what I did. So I did that exactly step by step, right? I had a QR code that I made it in Express, and the QR code went to the assets that the student was supposed to do because I gave them an exercise after. And then I just decided, let's connect first, let's talk. Like I told you, how you doing, right? And then basically this is the certification. Why? And then you can see here, I do have a link here and the link is live. It goes into the exams that we have. And then basically this is advertising the two new certification that we don't do it in USC yet, but maybe in the future. And they show you this is Acrobat and all the stuff that we have. This is Adobe Express. And you see, and you ask you, where did you take the images from Adobe stock? Basically. And then I cut and paste some stuff. I did a live demo. I told them how I'm going to work, but then click on the link to the QR code to download the information. So basically, I did that in InDesign over here. And then if I click over here, it basically going to go to InDesign right now. And that's called Publish Online. And I gave them homework. It's not a homework. I said, did you like what I did? Go to Express and do this project. Did you like what I did? Go to Express and do another project. And that was part of the presentation, and they can go back here and do that. Does that make sense? So basically, that's what I did in this presentation. And then if I go back here, you can see I gave them a lot of links over here, how to go over here, and that was it. Is that so? That's a presentation, and you can take this subject and then actually make it your own. So I gave them that as a template and I said, go back, put your stuff in there. Don't put my image inside the computer like this here, but put your own image. Does that make sense? Questions? You like me in my coffee cup? Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking, I'm holding Illustrator. Any questions, you guys? What do you think about using Express? Do you think it has some possibilities? Yeah. Yeah. You think it's better?
I think it's better than Canva, faster than InDesign, so if I have to do something quick, I would definitely use it.
Yeah. Any thoughts? Yes.
I think it's a good medium between Canva users like transition.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good. Yeah, transitioning from Canva to Express, transitioning from Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop yet and you want to remove the background, you can do it directly over here. Of course, I have some presentations that the images are like, wow, with different kind of stuff. I did the images in Photoshop and I saved them and posted it. Of course, you can do that later on or put the logos, but if you need to now, like let's say to do an immediate interview and you don't want to come to the interview and say, listen, I have this, or I think I have something else on the desktop, You want to be organized, say, here's a link, here's my presentation. They really look at it like, wow, it looks amazing. Because they're looking at it and you take the images and you have links to other places, you have link about information, they think you're very professional. Any thoughts?
How did you build that?
How do I beat what?
The picture.
Oh, my picture?
You got Photoshop?
Oh, Photoshop. Of course.
When you insert links, on Adobe Express, like in the web page, it takes you to, it can be any link, right?
Any link.
It doesn't have to be in the Express realm.
It has to be on the webpage, but the link doesn't have to belong to Express. You can do any link. So I have links, let's say I did a presentation for a friend of mine wrote a book. And he wanted to take the book and walk around with it and give a presentation. So he did a PowerPoint presentation and I told him, then I'm not gonna buy the book. They're gonna like throw the book at you. It is boring. The images were horrible and he had like, wow. And he started talking. I said, let me do something for you in Express. Because as is, the book was not very interesting. So I said, let me do it. And then within there, I put links for him to other places. And then all of a sudden, he went in and the presentation looked like sharp. And then he wanted to buy the book. So I have like a sample of that. I have a lot of example of things like this, like stories, like my friend opened a pop-up restaurant in our house a little bit before COVID and during COVID, because people didn't go to restaurants. And she wanted to make, so I said, send me, she wanted a website. And I said, do you have a budget? Who's gonna see you? I said, but if you send some friends and client a link about the food, maybe they're gonna come. That's the last one I'm gonna show, and then we'll call it the day. So let me just go back here and show it to you. I think I have it. I think I have it as a link somewhere. Okay, let's say I'm gonna go to Express, and then I'm gonna go workflow, digital imaging. Let's say this one. It's like, that's not the food, but this is a story of my family. And then I called it Defiance, and then I told the story of my family. So instead of doing it boring, I just did a web page. So it's kind of like family roots. You can do a lot of stuff with old pictures and things like this, and then create stuff and kind of like work with it, and it's a web page. Does that make sense? So this is basically the stuff, and then I write it down all the way back here, and then you can see digital imaging, or here's like, I was teaching at FIDEM, and I'm teaching there digital design with Photoshop, and the students want to see what other students doing a lot. And I don't want to give it to them because it's not theirs, right? But I said to them, you know what, let me create some presentation for you that you'll see all the projects that we have for 12 weeks. And within the project that we have for 12 weeks, I want to show you also. So this is the class. What do you explore? This is week by week. Overview what they're going to do. This is what I'm teaching them what to do. And this is the homework. And on the side, you can see what the student did. And then week 2, this is, I'm showing you what I'm teaching them. This is the homework. And this is what the the students did. So once they got the link over here, they were not allowed to download anything from here. They couldn't. But you can see over here, they have an immediate example about how to create something. And all the images are there. And then everything is kind of like step almost there. And then there were links all the way down to other places. So they can go back here and see the final and how to create the final. And they had the final over here. And then general information about me. If you want to follow me, we're going to go in and go to Instagram and everything else. So they had some kind of information. So you can put a link within a link within a link. I have another one that I'm showing them how to paint. So I created a video. I had the link and the video is in that. Does that make sense? Any questions? Are we good? Good. You guys have a good time? Great. So
We're gonna have another seminar in 2 weeks. I don't remember which one it is. I think it is Illustrator. I think, not sure. Creating the logos in Illustrator. And then I think after that, we're gonna have something in Photoshop and probably another one with InDesign. Great. So I am going to finish the recording and I will see you another time. Yay, thank you. Thank you, guys.